7 signs you have huge third eye activation potential. There is something hidden within you, something ancient, something powerful, a doorway to perception beyond the ordinary senses, an ability to see what others cannot, to know what others do not. It has been called many names throughout history: the seat of intuition, the gateway to higher consciousness, the third eye. And if you are here, if you are listening to these words, chances are you have already felt it stirring within you. The question is, how do you know if you have the potential to fully activate it? How do you know if your third eye is waiting to awaken? The truth is, not everyone is ready. Not everyone has the capacity to handle the kind of awareness that comes with an activated third eye, because once it opens, you can never unsee. The illusions that once comforted you will dissolve. The truths you were never meant to know will become clear, and the way you experience reality will never be the same again. But for those who are ready, those who sense that they were meant to see beyond the surface, there are signs, subtle at first, then undeniable.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
One of the clearest signs is an unexplainable sensitivity to energy. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt something shift within you? Have you ever sensed when someone was lying, even before they spoke? Have you ever felt emotions that were not your own, as if you were absorbing the vibrations of the world around you? This is not imagination. This is your third eye already functioning at a low level, picking up on frequencies that most people are blind to, the energy of places, the intentions of people, the hidden undercurrents beneath every situation. When your third eye is primed for activation, you do not just see with your eyes, you perceive with your entire being. And then there are the dreams, not just ordinary dreams, but vivid, prophetic, symbolic experiences that feel more real than waking life. If your third eye is preparing to open, your dream world will begin to expand. You may start having lucid dreams, where you are fully aware that you are dreaming and can even control the narrative. You may receive messages, insights, even warnings from a place beyond logic. Pay attention, because these dreams are not random. They are the language of your higher self, trying to communicate with you before your conscious mind is ready to fully understand. But let's go deeper. Have you ever experienced moments of déjà vu so intense that it feels as if you've already lived this exact moment before? Not just a fleeting sense of familiarity, but a deep knowing that you have seen this, felt this, experienced this in another time, another dimension. This is because when the third eye begins to activate, the barriers of time and space become thinner. Past, present, and future start to blur, and glimpses of what is yet to come begin to seep through. You may start recognizing patterns, predicting outcomes before they happen, sensing the future before it unfolds. And this is where the challenge begins, because with this heightened awareness also comes discomfort. The more your third eye awakens, the more disconnected you may feel from those who are still asleep. Conversations that once interested you may now feel shallow. The things that once entertained you may now seem meaningless. You may crave solitude, not because you dislike people, but because you are beginning to vibrate at a different frequency. The world may start to feel heavier, the emotions of others more intense, the weight of truth almost unbearable at times. This is the price of seeing beyond the illusion. You can no longer pretend it isn't there. But here's the real question. Are you ready? Are you ready to let go of the comforting lies? Are you ready to embrace a reality that most people will never understand? Because once the third eye fully awakens, there is no going back. You will begin to see the hidden structures behind everything, the way energy moves, the way thoughts manifest into reality, the way the universe is constantly communicating with you through signs and synchronicities. You will no longer wonder if there is a deeper intelligence governing existence. You will feel it. You will know it. And this knowing comes with responsibility, because knowledge without action is meaningless. If you have this potential, if you have these signs appearing in your life, then you have a choice. You can ignore them, suppress them, convince yourself that it's all just coincidence, or you can step fully into it, embrace your role as a seer, a visionary, a being of expanded consciousness. But be warned, awakening the third eye is not just about gaining mystical abilities. It is about truth, and truth is rarely comfortable. Are you willing to see things as they really are, even if it shatters everything you once believed? Are you willing to perceive beyond the physical, even if it means confronting the unknown? Because if you are, then your journey is just beginning. And the next phase? That is where things get even more intense. The hidden dangers of third eye awakening and how to navigate them. Awakening the third eye is often portrayed as a mystical gift, a doorway to enlightenment, a path to divine wisdom. And while all of that is true, there is another side to it, one that few talk about, one that many are unprepared for. Because when the third eye begins to open, it does not just bring clarity, it also brings chaos. It does not just reveal the light, it forces you to confront the darkness. And if you are not ready, if you have not built the inner strength to handle what comes with expanded perception, the awakening can feel more like a curse than a blessing. The first challenge is the overwhelming flood of information. Imagine suddenly being able to perceive energies, thoughts, emotions, and unseen forces all at once. Imagine walking through a crowded place and feeling every vibration, every hidden intention, every suppressed emotion of the people around you. At first, it may feel like a superpower, but without control, without discipline, it can become unbearable. Many people who experience sudden third eye activation report feeling anxious, overstimulated, even paranoid. The world that once felt solid and predictable now feels fluid and unstable. They see synchronicities everywhere, patterns in everything, signs in every moment. And while some of these signs are real, others are simply the mind struggling to process new levels of perception. Then comes the dissociation. The more the third eye opens, the more you begin to realize that reality is not what it seems. The structures of society, the beliefs you once held, the very nature of time and space, it all starts to feel like an illusion. And when that illusion cracks, when you see beyond the veil for the first time, it can be deeply unsettling. Some people feel disconnected from their own lives, as if they are watching themselves from a distance. They struggle to relate to those who are still trapped in the old paradigm. They feel alone, not because they want to be, but because they no longer see the world the way most people do. But the real danger, the one that few talk about, is the confrontation with shadows. Because when the third eye opens, it does not just reveal the beauty of the universe, it also exposes the hidden darkness within yourself. All the fears, all the wounds, all the suppressed emotions that you have buried deep inside will begin to surface, and there will be nowhere to hide. Many people who activate their third eye prematurely experience intense emotional turmoil, sudden waves of fear, nightmares, even encounters with dark entities. These are not hallucinations. They are the projections of unresolved trauma, the energetic imprints of past experiences, the fragments of the subconscious that can no longer be ignored. This is why preparation is everything. If you try to force third eye activation without inner work, without grounding, without emotional mastery, it can destabilize you. This is why some spiritual seekers lose themselves, why some fall into delusion, why some develop an obsession with mystical experiences while neglecting their physical and mental well-being. Because the third eye does not make you enlightened, it only makes you aware, and awareness without wisdom can be dangerous. So how do you navigate this? How do you expand your perception without losing yourself in the process? The first step is grounding. No matter how high you reach in consciousness, you must remain rooted in reality. Meditation, breath work, time in nature, physical movement. These are not just practices, they are essential tools for anchoring yourself as your awareness expands. The more you open your third eye, the more you must strengthen your connection to the present moment. The second step is discernment. Not everything you perceive is truth. Not every vision is divine. Not every entity is benevolent. You must learn to question your own experiences, to distinguish between intuition and imagination, between guidance and deception. Many people who awaken their third eye become so enamored with mystical experiences that they lose the ability to discern what is real. They follow every vision blindly, interpret every coincidence as a cosmic message, trust every spiritual encounter without question. But true wisdom is not about believing everything. It is about knowing what to filter out. The third step is integration. Awakening is not an escape from reality. It is an invitation to engage with it more deeply. Whatever insights you receive, whatever truths you uncover, they must be applied. If your expanded perception does not make you a more compassionate, more self-aware, more grounded human being, then it is meaningless. The goal is not to disconnect from the world, it is to navigate it with greater clarity, with greater purpose, with greater mind. And finally, the most important step is courage. Because once your third eye is open, once you see the world as it truly is, you cannot go back. You will see the lies, the illusions, the hidden forces at play. You will see beyond the masks people wear, beyond the narratives that control society, beyond the surface of reality itself. And the question is, what will you do with that knowledge? Will you let it paralyze you, or will you use it to create change? Will you shrink in fear, or will you step into your power? Because awakening is not just about seeing, it is about responsibility. And the more you see, the more you are responsible for. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to not just witness reality, but to shape it? Because if you are, then you are already on the path. And the next step? That is where the real transformation begins, unlocking the full power of your third eye, how to use it to manifest, heal, and expand beyond limits. Once you have navigated the challenges of third eye awakening, once you have stabilized your awareness and learned to distinguish truth from illusion, you arrive at the next phase, the mastery of your perception. This is where the third eye stops being just a passive ability and becomes an active tool. A tool for manifestation, for healing, for accelerating your consciousness beyond anything you ever imagined. Because the truth is, an awakened third eye is not just about seeing, it is about creating. It is about understanding that reality is not something fixed, but something fluid, something that bends to the will of those who know how to shape it. Everything in existence operates on energy, frequency, and vibration. The thoughts you hold, the emotions you generate, the intentions you set, these are not just invisible concepts. They are forces. They are blueprints that the universe reads and responds to, and when your third eye is fully activated, your ability to influence these forces multiplies exponentially. This is why those who have mastered this ability seem to manifest effortlessly. They are not bound by the normal rules of cause and effect, because they understand something most people do not, that reality is a mirror. What you project into it is what reflects back to you. So how do you use this power? How do you take your third eye from a state of passive awareness to a tool for conscious creation? The first step is understanding the principle of focused intention. Most people live in a state of scattered energy. Their thoughts are chaotic, their emotions unstable, their desires conflicted. And because their energy is fragmented, their manifestations are weak, inconsistent, or completely ineffective. But when your third eye is activated, you gain the ability to focus your intention with laser precision. You begin to see not just what you want, but the exact energetic path to bring it into existence. You no longer just hope for things to happen, you imprint them into reality with absolute certainty. Visualization is one of the most powerful ways to do this, but this is not daydreaming, this is not wishful thinking, this is a process of seeing something so clearly in your mind's eye that it becomes real before it even manifests physically. When you visualize with the third eye, you are not just imagining, you are aligning. You are tuning into the frequency of the reality you desire, merging with it so completely that it has no choice but to materialize. This is why ancient mystics, monks, and spiritual masters placed so much emphasis on meditation and inner vision. They were not escaping reality, they were shaping it from the inside out. But manifestation is just one aspect of this power. The third eye is also a gateway to healing, not just for yourself, but for others. When fully activated, it allows you to perceive the deeper causes of illness, emotional wounds, and energetic blockages. You stop seeing disease as just a physical condition. You begin to see the underlying imbalances that created it. Every illness, every pain, every dysfunction has an energetic root, and when you can see it, you can begin to shift it. Healers who operate with an open third eye do not just work on the body, they work on the energy field, the subconscious mind, the emotional layers that most medical practices ignore. And this is why their results often seem miraculous, because they are addressing the true source, not just the symptoms. But the most profound use of the third eye is something even deeper: expansion beyond limits. Because once you fully unlock this ability, once you master your perception, you realize something revolutionary. You are not confined to just this physical existence. The third eye allows you to access higher dimensions of consciousness, to receive knowledge from beyond time, to connect with the deepest intelligence of the universe. This is why ancient civilizations spoke of seers, prophets, visionaries, those who could tap into the wisdom of the cosmos and bring back insights that change the course of history. And this is where reality breaks open. Because once you begin to travel beyond the limitations of the physical world, once your consciousness expands beyond the illusion of separateness, you realize that you are not just a person experiencing the universe, you are the universe experiencing itself. The boundaries between self and other dissolve. The idea of limitation becomes laughable. You understand at the deepest level that everything, absolutely everything, is connected. and that the only thing that ever held you back was the illusion that you were small. But this realization is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a new way of living. Because once you see beyond the illusion, you must decide what to do with that knowledge. Will you use it to elevate yourself alone, or will you use it to awaken others? Will you retreat into the comfort of your own enlightenment, or will you step forward as a guide, a teacher, a force of transformation in a world that is still asleep? Because, make no mistake, the world needs those who can see, it needs those who can heal, it needs those who can create a new reality, one not built on fear, but on truth. And so the question is no longer just about whether you have the potential for third eye activation. The question is, what will you do with it? Because if you have made it this far, if you have resonated with these words, then something deep inside you already knows the answer. You are not here by accident. You are here because you are meant to awaken. And the time to step into your power is now. The final awakening, merging the third eye with the heart to become an unstoppable force of light. There is a final step in this journey, a truth that many seekers overlook in their pursuit of awakening. The third eye alone is not enough. Perception without wisdom, vision without love, knowledge without compassion, this is where many lose their way. Because while the third eye grants you the ability to see beyond the illusion, it is the heart that gives you the power to transform what you see. And until the two are merged, your awakening remains incomplete. Many who activate their third eye fall into the trap of detachment. They see reality for what it is, the illusions, the manipulations, the cycles of suffering, and they begin to separate themselves from it. They withdraw from the world, from relationships, from emotions, thinking that enlightenment means escaping the human experience. But this is only half of the truth. Yes, awakening reveals the illusion, but true mastery is not about leaving the illusion behind. It is about learning how to navigate it with wisdom and love. The greatest spiritual beings who have walked this earth were not those who abandoned the world, but those who engaged with it fully, who used their expanded awareness to uplift, to heal, to serve. This is why the heart must be activated alongside the third eye. Because without the heart, the third eye can become cold, analytical, even dangerous. It can lead to arrogance, to a sense of superiority, to the belief that awakening makes one better than those who are still asleep. But the heart dissolves this illusion. It reminds you that awakening is not about separation, it is about unity, that the more you see, the more you are responsible for. That true power is not in knowing more than others, but in using what you know to bring more light into the world. So how do you merge the third eye with the heart? The first step is understanding that wisdom and compassion must evolve together. Every insight, every realization, every new level of perception must be balanced with a deep sense of love. When you see through someone's mask, when you perceive their fears, their wounds, their hidden struggles, do not judge. Understand. When you recognize the illusions of society, do not resent those who are still trapped within them. Have patience, because you were once there too, and the only reason you can see now is because something, somewhere, triggered your awakening. Your role is not to condemn those who do not see, it is to be a light for them, to awaken them not through force, but through presence. The second step is learning how to use your expanded perception in service of healing. When the third eye and the heart are aligned, your ability to heal others, to shift their energy, to help them break free from their own limitations becomes profound. You begin to feel when someone's energy is blocked, when their emotions are suppressed, when their soul is calling for something more, and instead of simply seeing these things and walking away, you begin to act. You speak words that unlock something in them. You radiate an energy that shifts them without effort. You become a presence that elevates those around you, not because you are trying to, but because it is simply who you are. And then comes the final step, the realization that you are not separate from the universe, but an extension of it, that the third eye is not just a gateway to perception, but a bridge to creation, that the heart is not just an emotional center, but the key to limitless power. When these two forces merge, you do not just see reality, you shape it. You do not just witness suffering, you dissolve it. You do not just exist, you become a force, a movement, a living embodiment of consciousness in its highest form. This is the path of the awakened, not to retreat into isolation, but to walk the world with open eyes and an open heart, to see the darkness but not fear it, to recognize the illusions but not be consumed by them, to understand the suffering but not be paralyzed by it. Instead, to step forward with clarity, with strength, with a presence so powerful that even in silence, you shift the energy around you. And so the final question is this: now that you see, now that you know, now that you feel, what will you do? Will you keep this knowledge to yourself, or will you use it to awaken others? Will you hide your light, or will you let it shine so brightly that it illuminates the path for those still lost in the dark? Because the journey does not end with awakening. That is only the beginning. The real journey begins when you take what you have become and use it to transform the world. This is your calling, this is your purpose, and the time to step into it is now.